YouTube? This is SEO0320 representing JVS. I'm here again for another movie review. This movie is called After the Wedding. This is starring Michelle Williams, Julianne Moore, Billy Crudup, Will Chase, and is directed by, hopefully I don't get his last name wrong, Bart Freudenlich, I believe that's the pronunciation. I normally don't do this, but I feel like the elegance and the way this movie was actually created is deserving of it. Michelle Williams' character Isabel is working at an orphanage in India, and the orphanage is needing and deserving of like a revamp. And there's a financial backer that's willing to go and put money to help boost the orphanage. And there comes in Julianne Moore's character, who works for this prestigious company that is going to be that benefactor. The caveat to that is Michelle Williams' character has to go to New York to get that done. And Michelle Williams' character has been, for the most part, for years, just kind of been in the simplicity and just in immersion into that culture. And so she has to get out a fish out of water to go there to get the money. And then from that point, it's like an intricate web, and is a very beautiful story. How do I say this? Let's just go on just the acting alone. The acting for me, man, these two women, Michelle Williams and Julianne Moore, are phenomenal. Just in their craft alone. I'm not just talking about this movie. I'm talking about just in period. There was moments that I was sitting there watching them. There was a moment where Michelle Williams is on the dock and she's upset, and some person was talking to her, and like normally, you know, people have this outburst like getting upset or whatever. She, the most simplistically way, looks and is like, get away from me. And you can see the fury and the emotion, but she says in the most simplistic and normal way. And it's like every single one of her roles, she can just be as versatile as she needs to be. Julianne Moore, like, she plays a very interesting role in this one because she's a very layered character, and from the beginning of the movie to the very end, I really didn't know what her intentions were. I really didn't know what was going on, but she plays this role phenomenally. Like, she does such a great job with this role that they play off of each other. But at the same exact time, it's not in the way that you think. Like, I think that the trailers are going to be misleading in the sense of like you thinking like, man, this is a web of craziness, kind of like, and think of a movie like Wicker Park. It's not in that vein. I would say more along the lines of, think of Toy Story 4. If you've seen Toy Story 4, like, there's an interesting twist that kind of happens. Think along the same lines of that. Is the best way I can kind of put this one. But it's coated with amazing cinematography. The cinematography and the shots and the angles. And the beginning of the movie starts a certain way and it ends in the same exact way. And there's so many different amazing moments that are captured so beautifully, because it's not a close-up shot, it's a panned out shot. And I think that they take very good uses also of the score. The score is beautiful. There's songs that they use, absolutely, as far as the soundtrack, but the score is so beautiful. Like, because in the beginning of the movie, I was kind of just like, I really didn't know what to believe, what to perceive. I didn't know. And I think that's also, it caters to the cinematography, of course, and the sound design and the score. But Michelle Williams specifically in the beginning of the movie is just like, on fire, because I just don't know what's really happening, and she plays it so well. And Billy Crudup in this one, he does an amazing job as well, because for the most part, I really didn't know what role he played at all. You know what I'm saying? And then when it just starts to unravel itself, there's a scene in the third act with him and Julianne Moore that I was just like, whoa. Whoa. Oh, gosh. And there's another standout, I would say, Abby Quinn, that plays the role of Grace. It's Billy Crudup's daughter. I think she does an amazing job with her character as well, because she actually is very layered. And it's very interesting to see, you know, the progression of her character throughout the film. Specifically, I think the replay on this actually works really good as well, because if I went and rewatched this again, like, I'd be like, oh, whoa. You know what I'm saying? And I think that for me, I found a lot to be desired in this film. I think that it's not like intricately, made to like this, that, or other. Like, no, it's a very simplistic but beautiful, but at the same time devastating story. And I think that the story in itself, it works very well. I think the screenplay was done pretty well. There were certain scenes that were kind of like down moments that were maybe, I don't want to say they were unnecessary. I think it was just kind of just like, it was progressional and it was needed. And I think that from an audience standpoint, some people, it might not be for everybody. I think you have to be in the right kind of headspace to see this film. I think you need to be definitely focused. But at the same time, I think your heart needs to be in a certain kind of place to be able to receive what's really actually happening. Because a lot of the themes of this has to do with responsibility, has to do with lies, has to do with the essence of, family. I guess ultimately, family and desertion. I guess those are good themes that I would say that this movie touches on pretty well. I think that there's certain things they could have done more with in the third act specifically, but when I really think about it, I was like, you know what? I get it. I really do get it. And I think that there's certain moments in the third act that I was thinking they were going to beat me on the head with some stuff that happens, that some destructive stuff, and they don't. They just really I think they use a lot of grace with the way that they handle it. I think. But I think that the interesting part is, if they would have went down this road of like a Wicker Park and going back and forth, they got the perfect actors to do it. Like Julianne Moore and I think Michelle Williams going head to head in that way would have been entertaining as a mug, and maybe would have gotten more people in seats, possibly. But we'll see. I'm hoping that August 9th, when this movie releases, that you guys watch it. Hopefully you guys do enjoy it. I personally had a really good time with this film. I would give it an 8 out of 10, maybe an 8.5 out of 10. I didn't really find any faults with it. And I think that it was really good. I think it was actually really good. I think you just have to be in the right headspace for it. I think that some of the dialogue choices for certain things could have been ramped up. But I think that the director and the screenwriters knew exactly the way they wanted this to go. So I have to respect them for their choices with that. Okay. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell button. Keep it locked. JVS. We ain't gonna stop. Have a blessing, guys. Peace.